So, folks, Alpine Modern Cafe. That's the name of this joint. There's this super cool cafe here in the middle of, I don't know where I am. What part of town? Oh, the Hill. It's called the Hill in Boulder. And it's super cool and super trendy, but people are really nice. And the coffee is outstanding. Parking sucks. Gotta bust out my parallel parking skills. Uh-oh. Let's see. I got a whole line of people behind me. The thing... Lay down! The thing I hate about parallel parking with the van is that I have this thing hanging out the back of my receiver hitch, which sticks out about 1.5 foot or something. But not bad, sir. Not bad. So S-Town. Have you listened to this podcast? S-Town. I binged through it. It's one of the only ones I've known that released the entire series at once. Very common thing to do now, a la Netflix. So S-Town is about, if you listen to Serial, that's enough. If you listen to Serial, you know what Serial is about and how it's this type of podcast where you can't wait to get to the next story or see what happens next. But I was disappointed with Serial Season 1, and then I was disappointed with Serial Season 2. And the reason I was disappointed with them was because they didn't really have an ending. Right? S-Town is exactly like that. I try to figure out the best way to describe S-Town. I wanted to send a tweet that said, like, if you like podcasts that don't have endings, like Serial, you'll love S-Town. I might send that tweet anyways. But I try to figure out how to describe it. And that's why I had to park in order to do this. But imagine a roller coaster, like a badass roller coaster that you love. You're banking hard, crawling the loop-de-loops, and you're having fun, and you can't wait, and you're climbing like, oh my god, and then boom, it goes, and twist, and there's another loop, and you climb it, and you climb it, and you climb it, and you're like, here we go. This is the big finale, and then the roller coaster just stops. And you have to get off, and there's stairs, and you walk off, and you're done. That's where the roller coaster ends. Right before the big fucking grand finale, loop-de-loop, hill, whatever, it stops, and you get off, and there's stairs, and you walk the stairs down, and your ride is over. What do you think about that? Huh? I can talk to other people. And that's how S-Town, the podcast, was. It was just like, oh my god, holy shit. And then nothing. And then the podcast is over. That's just my opinion. The other thing is, like, I worked on his beard this morning. And, I don't know. I like my slim face, and I like it to be, I don't want the beard to stick out and make my face look bigger. So I'm working on trimming it up. Rusty, can you shut up, please? So I'm working on this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Also, I put on blue jeans, 501s that I bought, I don't know, years ago. I want to beat this dog. Anyways, I don't know. They're 501s. There's a button flying. I don't know. So annoying. But now I kind of been holding on to these jeans because they're like the when I'm skinny jeans, and like they were thick, they were big on my thighs and stuff, or they're tight on my thighs, and I'm like, I don't know, but I like them. I don't even know if I like them. I'm gonna wear them for a couple days. We'll see. Uh, Definitely too big in the waist now, and so I don't know. I don't know about this weight that I weigh now. A doctor at the VA one time told me I was, even though I was like the leanest I've ever weighed, the least of I've ever weighed in my adult life. When I went to this doctor, he told me that I needed to weigh 225, and I was weighing like 238. Um, and I said 225. It's impossible. I can never weigh that. I think my lean body mass is 225, meaning if I had zero fat on my body, I would weigh 225. At least I've been that at certain points in my life. Uh, so for now to weigh 220, 226, I weigh 220, I'm like a pound away from what that doctor told me, and I thought it was ridiculous that I would ever be able to weigh that. So, I gotta say, I don't. Wrong. I gotta say that I've never. Um, I don't know how I feel about weighing this much. Anyways, that's it. I'm here. This is my first time back at this cafe, Alpine Modern. I would have never remembered that. I didn't remember. Alpine Modern Cafe in Boulder. And we're gonna chill. Oh, taxes. Don't even get me started about taxes. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. Hopefully, I don't owe anything. I shouldn't owe anything. I have in years, several every year up until up until this year, I've owed taxes. Um, but I gotta tell you, running a business, having employees, trying to provide them medical insurance, it's just not fun. It's not fun. Uh, so when it comes to taxes, I got to keep track of all. I own three houses, which I hate it, and I shouldn't hate it, but I do. I own three houses. I haven't been anywhere to collect mail. I send a lot of mail to my dad's house. I think my stepmom throws most of it away. So I have to track down the numbers and uh, mortgage interest paid, blah blah blah, tax, and that's the part I hate. I try to keep meticulous records so that will be a piece of cake for me to hand everything over to my accountant. But the problem I have is those things that people insist on mailing, they don't have available electronically, so it's hard to keep track. I don't know. I have to figure something out because this business, may not last much longer. I have 3 employees coming up eligible for medical coverage, and if they come up eligible for medical, if they choose to take the medical coverage, I won't have enough money to continue in business. So if you're wondering what's weighing heavily on my mind, it's that. It's that. All right. Let's go get some coffee. It's coffee time. Sort some business shit out. Maybe I'll get back on writing. Oh, one more thing. Writing has been non-existent. I haven't been able to really, even though I had a good idea the other day, I got that idea down, and but I still didn't write a bunch. It wasn't flowing. It hasn't flowed since the first story of my next short collection of short stories. That came out. Not as easy as Los Chocolates came, and yesterday I decided, like, this, worked on this story, it didn't flow. I worked on another story, it didn't flow. And then I kind of reminded myself about this little memoir that I was writing about the time, stories from when I lived at my grandmother's house in South Central Los Angeles. And so I thought, well, let me try, and I have 2 stories in my head that I talked to somebody about, and she loved them and laughed, and I'm like, I gotta at least put those stories down. So I started writing, and there was the flow. It just came. It was like, I'm on my phone, I'm doing this. I was on my phone and just going and punching, and I didn't dump 2,000 words, but I did crank out about 600, and I told this little story of the time my dad pulled up to pick us up with a car full of white people. That's the funny thing, because I'm trying to make it sound like, well, who are all these white people? But it was my stepmom, my stepbrother, and my stepsister, and my little brother, I think. So I tell the story of basically my dad getting remarried, and when it used to be just him to come pick me and my sister up, and all of a sudden one day it was this whole family. There was this whole family that came, and we joined in for the weekends. And I tell a story of 2 things that happened. One of those things was the time I realized that I had to, that my dad was only my dad every other weekend, and the rest of the time he were these other people's, who's my brother and sister now, and have been for quite a long time. But that's enough. Every other weekend he was my dad. The rest of that time he was these other kids' dad. And then when I started writing that story, that wasn't the plot line. That wasn't what I was going for, right? There's another little event that takes place that I thought was the reason I was writing it. It wasn't this whole, that's when I realized my dad was only my dad every other weekend. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what happens. That's when just things just start flowing, and that hasn't happened in a long time, and it finally happened yesterday. The name of this book will be 1255 West 102nd Street, and it's going to be a series of short stories that took place during the time that I lived in that house with my grandparents. All right, it should be fun. Okay. Okay, now we're going for coffee. We'll see you guys later.